Welcome Professor Daly and the students of 6055 to Edmodo. Here we see the teacher interface for Edmodo. The tool itself allows you to create a virtual classroom. You can begin by creating groups, which allows you to specify the name for a group, whether that's an individual class, set the grade level, and then also set the subject area, which would bring in other content or make it available to you. In this example, I already created a group which effectively is a course. I can add alerts or assignments, polls, quizzes within that particular course. In this case, I'm going to just add a simple note. Now, the note itself could be a welcome message. It could be anything that I'd like to indicate to the students of that course. There are several tools that are available within this and the other options, such as adding a file or a link. You can include something from the library, which is another function, and I can even schedule the message to be released at a later time. In other words, I could do all my work as a teacher at the front end, and if I'm running multiple courses, I can do as shown here, send it to a particular course or all the courses that I'm managing. Now we can see on the timeline that the note has been distributed within the 6054 group. Let's go ahead and make an assignment. Now, assignment here could be something as simple as to perform a reading assignment, or to interactively work, have them create or comment on a document. We're just going to create a very simple one here. I'm going to have them give a due date of this coming Friday. I'm now going to go ahead and give them a brief description of what it is I'd like it to do. Nice part is that there's a spell check included within the interface directly. Now in this case, I also want to give them the ability to have this group alone see this information, but I'm going to attach for them a link. When I enter the actual link URL in the interface here, the program will actually go out and check on the internet to see if there's proper name for that website. So even though I could override it in the second text box, by default it's going to put in what the name of that website is for me. Once I attach it, all that I have to do now is distribute it or send it to the group. The assignment is now available and will show up in the individual students' own timelines. Other features that I have the ability to use are that of quizzes and polls. I can do either or both of those within the course that I'm working at. The nice thing is that the quiz allows me to have multiple choice questions that the students can answer. The poll will allow me to elicit response immediately. So let's go into the group itself, and we can take a look at the profiles and the members. Here I have one instructor and one student. When we view the individual student's progress, it'll show us what they've done for assignments, and they use this concept of badges in the program to allow you to give kind of a reward. I can look at activities, when they were last logged in, what they last completed, even going into the individual assignments themselves. If I want to, again, I can assign additional badges to those students as a way to reward them and give them something to look forward to. Interestingly, you can add your own in a future time. It's very nice to be able to look at your students and find out how they're doing at any point during the course. Let's go back to the home though, and we'll take a look now at how we can use the timeline within the courses that you've created to view more information. When we go through, we'll have an ongoing time-based record of all of the assignments, all of the notes, replies, and other interactions that have taken on in this course. It gives us a timeline based upon minutes or hours or days from today backwards. So it's very easy to kind of follow the flow within your course and the interaction between the students. If I wish to look at one of the assignments, all I need to do is go to that assignment, select the button, and it will show me what the assignment is, as well as any of the individual communication that was going back and forth between yourself and your students. If I wish to add to that, all I need to do is just add a comment and reply to the student here. Within that assignment, if I want to take a look at the grades, I just have to select that. Again, it shows me the grades that I've assigned at this point. how the students again are doing, and it also gives me an overview as to how all the students are and what the averages are. So if you're working with bell curves or other ways of distributing your grading, this will give you that reporting capability. The overall use of the timeline is imperative for the instructor in this course. The way that it's laid out, the way that this product presents it to us is all based upon the time and the discussion that goes along with that time synchronization. So now we're into the student's view. In this case, again, the student is taking a look, goes within that course, and has the same basic view of the timeline that we had as the instructor. Of course, the instructor and the teacher see this in a slightly different way. The nice part here is I was able to run both of them at the same time to be able to see how it would be presented. Here's an example of a poll that I built, a couple of very simple questions, and all I'm looking for is for a vote from the individual students. So once the student goes ahead and submits that here, I can change back, look at the instructor, and I'll start to get the feedback in that place. So now we see the completed poll from my perspective as a student. Let's take a look at that assignment we made previously. We separated out an assignment and gave them the object of going out and logging into the LinkedIn website. The link is available here directly. By default, it opens up a separate window, and there you are at LinkedIn, or any reading assignments, etc., that you've given to them with an active link. Now, once I've done whatever the assignment is, I can go here and turn in that assignment. I can give information. I can again attach files. So if you had them fill out a form or create a document, I can do that. They can assign what they thought of the assignment itself. This could go either way for you as an instructor. It does give you immediate feedback. Remember, we don't have the luxury of being able to look in people's eyes as we are kind of used to in a stand-up training environment. Once they fill in their comments, all they have to do is turn in the assignment, and it's been now sent to the instructor. Now that we go back into the instructor screen, we immediately see we have alerts. I really fell in love with this concept because the problem with a lot of online distance learning type of technologies is you don't know when your students have replied. Here I have alerts, and all I have to do is click them, and they give me a direct information from the student. What did they do? Here they turned it in. I can now give back to them. What did I think you did? It's not as hardcore as putting in a grade. It's just a little bit more lighthearted way of saying, hey, you did a good job. But at the top, I can flat out give you a grade. You set what the number is. In this case, I used a scale of 5. Gave myself a 3 out of 5. I did okay. All that I need to do now is hit the accept button, and I've already graded it. That project's done. Now, just to complete the view, we go back in, logged in as the student, and again we have alerts telling us that the teacher has reviewed, commented, graded some of the assignments. Again, all I need to do is click that alert. It immediately brings me in, and I can see how I fared on that particular project. This ability to have an immediate, when required or wanted access, really gives this product a step up on a lot of the other kind of distance learning free packages that are out there. The last piece that I wanted to demonstrate is an add-in, and that's one of the functions that Edmodo gives you, is the ability to have all of these add-ins. And they're not like add-ins for your phone. Some of these are fairly expensive, but a free add-in here was a whiteboard. And here on the left-hand side I have the instructor screen, on the right-hand side I have the student screen. I'm demonstrating that you could actually do an interactive whiteboard session with one or all of your students at any point. You can specify whether they have the ability to add to the drawing or whether you're just going to be presenting. You can insert videos, graphics, pre-made pictures, etc. Here I just use the very simple drawing tools. On the student side, the student maybe could be assigned a different color and say, all right, you're pink, you're purple, you're red, much like what we're doing in our wikis to determine assignments. And that's how I know that you're drawing on this part. And they can then draw circles and say, hey, what do you mean by this? I really enjoyed this little add-in, and the fact that it was free was bonus. So that wraps up my review of Edmodo. Thanks for watching.